Thank you, everyone. Thank you. What a remarkable film. So, Danny, why this film? Why now?
Well, thank you so much for that reception. It's fantastic for us. We work very hard. We try, a lot of people to thank. There's who work so hard to get it ready in time, because we finished filming at the beginning of May. So a lot of people went nuts, really, to try and get it here. And I'd like to mention a couple of people, actually, who are here. Gaia and Caitlin, who did a lot of the typing. They were very important to us. We tried to make... I first approached Aaron about the film in 2006, actually, after I read his book. But I think at that point, Aaron wanted it to be more documentary. But I was obsessed with the intensity of the experience of reading his book, and particularly the chapters in the canyon. And I'm not an outdoors kind of person at all. I'm an urban person, but I just couldn't get it out of my mind. And I didn't want to make an outdoors film, so I kept on at him, really, and eventually he gave in. And let us make it like this.
So, Aaron, this is your story. And the movies have a tendency to distort reality. True, false? It's just really, in terms of the way Danny gets into your head, the fantasy, the hallucinations, this is the way it was, the way you felt it?
If I could put some words in my mouth right now, just to pull. It's challenging. Yes, that's the answer. Yes, it is. I don't think there's anything that you see in the film that doesn't convey a sense of truth of the genuine and authentic experience of what I went through there. And that's probably why it's so powerful for me, especially when my sister is sitting next to me, when my wife is sitting next to me, one of my best friends is here. So what you see as an urban film as it might be, it's actually it's not about a wilderness experience, it's about a human experience, about the connectedness with people. And I think that's what you really get to see, is the character coming to understand that is truly what's important about life, and that's what he's getting out of the canyon to go do. And that's for me to be able to have that experience with my family here. That's why it's so powerful to know that it's for them that I did that I got out of there. But I have to say thank you to everyone who's standing next to me on stage here, because I mean, as a documentary, it would not have been anywhere near as powerful as what that was. Thank you for convincing me otherwise, Danny.
And James, it's an extraordinary performance. Did the two of you talk?
Yes, as soon as Danny asked me to do the movie, or soon after that, I met Aaron in LA.
Sorry.
And, you know, over the course of the pre-production, we talked many times, and he took us through every minute of his experience and, you know, showed us just all the physicality of what he did and why he was doing it, what he was thinking at the time. But the first time that I met him was in LA, and it was I met him at the Four Seasons. Danny was there, and Christian was there, and Sudarat, the production designer, and Simon. And Aaron showed us the real tapes that he made. And as far as I know, he doesn't really show this to anyone other than his family and the people he dresses in those tapes. And it was incredibly powerful. Because we're all sitting here and Aaron's on the stage and we know that he made it, and we can say it was a really hard thing, but he got out. But when you watch the tapes, it's Aaron not knowing that he's going to survive. And he made them over the course of all 5 days, up until, you know, within a couple of hours of when he figured out how to get out. And so really he is accepting his own death on these tapes. But he is so composed, and he not composed, but he's putting up a front for everybody that he's talking to. I guess because he assumed that it was going to play at his funeral, and he wanted to leave one message for everyone. And that was, I've really never seen anything like that, and it really guided me through the performance. Just being able to see that.
Before I turn it over to the audience, Danny, maybe just one last question from me. What was the biggest challenge for you as a filmmaker that you confronted making this film?
It was the opportunity, really. The challenge and the opportunity was to try and not leave the canyon, really. I mean, apart from the fleeting glimpses he has of things that cross his mind, it was to try and stay in the canyon, really, and not to cut away. That was always the ambition, was to just try and make it as immersive as an experience as possible. Because, with apologies to Aaron, the theory was the only way that you'll be able to tolerate, and thank you for tolerating, him cutting his arm off, because it's not a horror film like Saw or anything like that. We thought that the only way you'll be able to tolerate it is if you feel one with him, that you want him to get out, and you know now that's the only way he's going to get out, is to act. He's got to act on it now. And he has the vision of that his future child is a reason to carry on, that's stronger than anything in a way. So it was, that was the biggest challenge, is to try and make it as immersive as possible for everyone to experience it with James, really, I guess. And I do believe you are all capable of it. We are all capable of it. We don't think so now, because only he is, really, but we are all capable of it, I think. We are extraordinary in the way we had this extra ambition, which is that we wanted to give this feeling of that we all pull each other through in some way. These enormous crowds we live in, these cities we live in, these groups of people we live in, which drive us all mad sometimes. We actually do pull each other through somehow. Magnetically, we pull the wandering sheep back somehow. We're a force to be reckoned with like that. And that was one of the ideas of it, yes.
Okay, over to the audience.